Hi guys, it's Kai. So this is a story time video that I said I was going to do in my last video in case you didn't see that. Well, here's the story time video, and a lot of people asked me for a lot of different story times, but I wanted to do one, specifically one that's kind of been bothering me lately, or that's been on my mind lately, and yeah, and I figured it could actually, even though it may not be completely safe for me to talk about yet, but then again, I have made videos when this all went down. Oh, okay, hold on. I think I did see someone outside there. Hold on. Okay, I saw someone right outside that door. Hold on, you guys. Scary. Okay, I don't know. I think it was a person coming in. I don't know, because, like, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, here we go. I'm gonna tell you guys the story about my stalker and how he became my stalker and all the things that I did wrong, and that, like, here's just a big good story to learn from stupid Kyrie. Okay? And make better decisions, kids. Okay, so, as most of you may know, I am a singer, and I love singing, and I've always wanted to be in a rock band or a hard rock band, any heavy-ish kind of, like, music, any heavy type of music, really, I wanted to get into. And, you know, I post videos of me singing and doing covers and shit like that, and this person, who I believe used a fake name, but I, like, there's a podcast on the entire situation, but anyways, just to get into the story, there's a lot to this story. Okay, so essentially, this person, we'll call him John. Okay, so John, because John's the most generic name ever. Sorry. Okay, anyways, this person had watched my videos, and claimed to have been in a band called Angels Must Die. Right. And one, the band doesn't exist. There's nothing on them. If you look them up, there's nothing on them. The band does not exist. And if you look up this person, you can't even find their Facebook. Like, if you knew their actual name, you can't even find it on Google, which is, once I get more into the story, you'll probably understand a little why, but it's more of the paranormal side, and I don't really want to get onto the paranormal side in this video, so if you want me to in another video and you're not a skeptic and you're not going to be a judgmental asshole because these are, like, things that actually happened, then I'll post a video about that and my experience with that. But until then, here is basically what happened and why you should follow Kyrie's advice, because I make a lot of mistakes and a lot of bad decisions. Yeah! So this was, like, at the very, very, very beginning of summer. And, it was probably, like, I would say maybe a week or so after I got home from Fort Lauderdale, which I believe was in April, May. I think it was May, like early May. Early May. And this guy, John, had hit me up on Facebook saying that he was in a band called Angels Must Die, that they were going on Warped Tour, and basically that he wanted me to take the spot as the new singer. And I asked him to send me, like, you know, some of his band's music to get an idea of exactly what I would be doing and what I'd be singing, right? Because that's what an artist would do. And especially if someone comes at you and messages you and is like, "Hi, I want you to sing for our band who is going on tour." You know what I mean? And, like, this guy's telling me, "Oh, we're getting signed by Roadrunner Records, who have signed a bunch of amazing bands, and you know, we're going on tour, and I want you to come, and, like, I'm gonna come to Boston, and we're gonna meet, and I'll talk about the contract with you, and all this, and all the logistics of it, and we'll meet each other, and, like, you know, we'll jam, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, basically feeding me, who is a young artist and, you know, at this time really, really wanted to be in the music industry, really wanted to be in a band that was, you know, going somewhere or going to do something and that I would really enjoy, you know what I mean? Okay? And at the time, I was singing for my best friend's boyfriend's band. And before I could even say yes to this guy, because I got really way too excited, way too ahead of myself when he said all this, and I posted a status, which I shouldn't have posted. It was stupid. You know, I got a lot of hate for it too, saying that I was going on tour and all this shit, and I should not have posted that status because my best friend's boyfriend saw it and he just immediately kicked me out of the band, and that sucked because this whole thing was just a ruse. Just a ruse to, you know, get me to give him my address, which I'll tell you in a second how all that happened. He had basically, sorry, he had basically fed me and my mom, my mother too, a load of bullshit about how he, like, thought my voice was so good, how it brought him and his band members to tears, and, you know, telling my mom, like, talking to her personally, saying, yeah, like, I want to meet your daughter, I want to come down there, and, you know, I am who I say I am, all this bullshit, to my mom. And, like, my mom is one of those people that you don't want to fuck with, like, ever. And if you fuck with one of her kids, like, she's like a lion, like a mama lion. Like, if you fuck with one of her cubs, she will fucking she will literally rip your insides out and hang you from a tree by your large organs, like, or by your big intestine. You know what I mean? Like, she's one of those she's one of those moms. So, yeah. He lied to her, and she did not take that very easily, and neither did I. Fucking with me is one thing. A lot of people fuck with me. A lot of people, you know, try to put me down or do whatever. But when you fuck with my friends or my family, and I'll tell you right now, my fans and supporters, they are all my family. Along with my mother and my friends, they are all my family. Because I believe that blood does not define family. But that all aside, he was very, very convincing to me and to my mom. So he tells me that he's getting on a plane, just him, by himself, not the other band members, and that he's coming to Boston to stay at a hotel and meet me. He told me that he was driving a Mustang, or renting a Mustang, I guess, and staying at the Boston Harbor Hotel. I know how to get to the Boston Harbor Hotel by driving. And so, to shorten everything, really, he basically texted me for a week or almost 2 weeks straight, talking about, telling me he's going to meet me, saying he's 5 minutes away, this, that, the other thing. Never shows up, never texts, and then the next day texts me and acts like nothing happened, like nothing went wrong. Like, I'm like, what the fuck, like, we were supposed to meet up, like, what is going on, you know? And after so long of that happening, you need to really, like, I start thinking, okay, when something seems too good to be true, it usually, unfortunately, tends to be too good to be true. And for me, in this case, that was the case. So, yeah. So after so much of him bailing on me, after saying he's coming to, you know, get me and meet me and all this, I decided that I would go to him. So me and my best friend Dan, who's also my manager, yeah, I say that in all the videos, yeah, shout out to Dan, hi Dan, I took his car with him, and I drove down to the Boston Harbor Hotel, and it was really shitty weather. It was cold out, it was raining, and it was right on the water because it's the Boston Harbor Hotel, it's on the Boston Harbor. So, we go to the hotel he's supposedly staying at, and lo and behold, there are a shit ton of Mustangs in here. And if you live in Boston or have ever been to Boston, Mustangs are very, very common around Boston, in the city, out of the city. Mustangs are just a very, very common car around here. So it's really hard to just be like, oh, that's him, because there's so many fucking Mustangs. But anyways, so before we even start, me and Dan even start to make our way towards the Boston Harbor Hotel, I tell him I'm coming there. I'm telling him that I'm coming there to meet him, and that it's just going to be us. For some reason, he was so adamant on it just being us, on me just coming up to his hotel room alone. Like, I had to be alone. Like, one, that creeped me out. I told him, okay, yeah, whatever, because I know how to fight, and I had a knife with me at the time in case I needed it, because, I mean, just saying that to anyone is, especially someone you don't really know, it's like, okay, well, you want me to get up in your room in a hotel alone, in a state that you don't live in. Okay, sure. You know, so, but point is, I told him when I was leaving, I told him when I'd be there, because it's like, the way I drive, it's a 45-minute drive from my house on, like, in the suburbs on the South Shore to the Boston Harbor Hotel in Boston. So we drove there. I told him when I was halfway there, he's like, all right, okay. We get there, we have to park inside. Because if you've ever been to Boston, once again, there's nowhere to fucking park in the city. There's nowhere to park. So you either need to pick a parking garage where you have to pay a shit ton of money because it's Boston for you. But yeah, so we had to park inside of the Boston Harbor Hotel parking garage, which was like $30 for an hour. And we were there for like an hour and a half, probably 2 hours, walking around in the rain. And then after so long, this guy, I skipped ahead a little bit. I'm sorry. You guys know that. I can't shut the fuck up. I need to learn how to shut the fuck up. Fuck. Okay, so we were walking around in the rain, and, well, it was misty, but whatever, and cold for a while. And I texted him. I was like, dude, we're here, like, what the fuck is going on? And then he messages me back out of nowhere and goes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm out to lunch with a friend. Like, I'll be back soon. I'm like, what? Okay, one, before anything, this guy has told me he has never been to Boston before, doesn't know anyone in Boston, and told me that his band members were not coming. And keep that in your guys' head. Sorry, I know, I'm illiterate right now, but keep that in your guys' head, because that's going to mean something in a second. He told me that he had never been to Boston, doesn't know anyone in Boston, and that he was the only one coming. Not any of his band members, just him, wanting to, show me the contract or talk to me about the contract, whatever. And, so basically what had happened after that was, like, I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? But okay, like, I was trying to be as nice as I possibly could because I really just wanted to get this fucking over with after a week of this bullshit, you know? Like, fuck. Like, nobody wants to be fucked around for that long, especially when it comes to someone's dream and what they want to do with their life, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, like, shit. So anyways, after he messages me and says he'll be back soon, it's about 45 minutes later we have to wait, and we're still having to pay for this fucking fine to stay, like, park there. And that's the only place where it's not raining, where it's kind of, like, you can sit in the car and not worry about, like, getting a ticket or anything like that and be warm. And we decided to fucking get in the car because we're about ready to leave, and I was so ready to leave at this point. I was like, you know what, Dan, everybody's telling me that there are so many red flags here, there's nothing on the band, and I just, like I always try to do, I try to have the most faith in people and try to think that, people are better than they are, and again, my wishful thinking fucked me over. So if you're a wishful thinker, or, you just want to believe in the best in people, take a step back before you do it, because there are too many people out there who will use that against you and find out what kind of person you are, who are insane people who can literally find out what kind of person you are just by having a conversation with you. So, also keep that in your head, because that's very important to know with anybody you come across. So after never getting a text back, after this guy told me that he was on his way back from lunch, we never got a text back, so we decided to leave. I bolted out of there. Dan had to pay the fine. Once I got home, I sent him a text message, a really mad one, saying, listen, I want you to pay my friend back for, having to park in that garage, because it was a lot of money. It was almost, I think it was up to $60 actually, or over. It might have been over $60 just to park in that garage to try to meet with him. This person who said that he came down here, or up here specifically to meet me and to talk about this contract and the tour and all this shit. And so I got sick of waiting. I got sick of this bullshit and all the shit that he was pulling the whole time that he said he was here. And I know that he was here now because he had broke into my room. That's a story for later on. But anyways, he had sent back a message that day, and apparently it was from his drummer. So that's why I told you guys to keep in your head that he had said that he was coming alone and that none of the band members were coming, none of them. And it never mentioned a goddamn thing about one of them coming down, none of them. And apparently he claimed to be his drummer and said, hi, this is his drummer, never gave me a name, just said this is the drummer, and that John is in the hospital for ODing again. What? Like, what? Okay. What? Like, huh? And then I get a picture sent to me of a hospital wristband as if he was waiting in the ER. Like, as if he was trying to avoid the entire situation and meeting in general because he knew that he was either gonna fuck up, or I don't know exactly what this guy's angle was in the first place, but I know that his goal for the entire thing was to get my address, which worked, because before I even went to the Boston Harbor Hotel, he was supposed to come to my house to meet my mom and to meet me, and to basically take me to like a restaurant or something, someplace to talk about the contract and the tour and all that stuff. And so I asked my mom, is it okay for me to give John our address so he can pick me up? Because, he said he wants to meet you and all that stuff. And my mom said it was okay. And it's not because she's a bad mom or wasn't worried. It was because she was under the impression that he wanted to come meet her. And that, she wanted to make sure that her daughter wasn't getting into something bad with someone who wasn't willing to, meet her parents, you know what I mean? Or her mom. And so, yeah, that's how my mom was thinking about it. So she wasn't thinking, okay, this guy just wants to, stalk her. She was thinking, okay, this guy's going to come, pick her up, meet me, and all this stuff, and hopefully, things go the way that they're supposed to. Woo! Well, that's not how it worked. So essentially, the whole thing about him contacting me about this fake band he made up and all this shit was just a whole entire ruse to fuck with me, to make me think that my dream was coming true, that I was finally going to be in a band and go on tour and, make music and all this shit, when in reality it was just a way for him to get my address and to stalk me, and he did some pretty bad things, and I would like to talk to them, but the story is actually pretty long, so if you guys want me to tell you, like, the other parts of it, which, again, have some paranormal, they have some paranormal things and, attributes, I guess, to the story. So, again, if you're a skeptic, you're not going to want to watch that, but, for any of the people out there who want to know what happened and what he did, after he had gotten my address and after I figured out all his bullshit and called him out on it, yeah, you can leave a comment if you want to hear that story, but for now, this is just a lesson as to don't trust everyone you meet, and if it's someone trying to, message you on anything, whether be a call, text, I don't care. Make sure that you check this person out, do a profile, I don't care, like, especially if it has something to do with your dreams or anything you want to do with your life. If it's something that somebody can manipulate and make into this thing, just try to look out, because it's really dangerous out there, and people are fucked and dangerous, and it sucks. Yeah, so I hope that none of something like this doesn't happen to you guys ever. And yeah, take some advice from Kyrie's mistakes. Alright, I love you guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye.